Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing okay. I thought I'd talk about something different today and I'm going to turn off the comments, obviously. This topic personally, I know it's very antagonising to a lot of people and it's just easier for me to just turn the comments off. They won't have seen any of my story, they won't have seen any of my other videos, they will literally just click on this video to trash me. The same tired metaphors about used cars and keys and locks. It's stuff that I just don't really want to attract to my channel. I just don't want that misogyny. So that's the disclaimer out of the way. So I thought I would just say that, this is a really chatty channel and people come here to listen to my chats and what's going on in my life. And I've made the stance. I made it really a year ago. And if you see my channel, I went through the biggest Delulu period ever. And I think it was 22. Year 22, I hit peak Delulu. I was just obsessed with someone that was not interested in me at all. And after that, I really took stock of how, if I was dating someone, etc., were their actions reciprocal? Were they putting in as much as me? That's when I really eased back from dating and concentrated more on myself. And I came up really with this principle that I wish that I'd always carried out since I was maybe first started dating in my early 20s, was that going forward, it's dinner dates only. This gets such a bad rap on the internet. And I've definitely changed my opinion on it as I've developed as a person and as I've done self-development work. It's because before I didn't feel enough confidence to have that standard of, no, if you want to date me, it's dinner only. I am not doing drinks. I'm not doing coffee. I'm not doing a walk in a park. Who walks around a park? Dogs. Dogs walk around a park. You are a human being. You deserve to be treated with respect. And if any man asks you to walk around the park and buy you an ice cream, no, you have standards and that's not the man for you. That's why I've turned the comments off, because men assume that if a woman wants to be taken out to dinner, she's a gold digger. And that's not the case at all. We are just seeing which men actually have interest in ourselves. I entertained so many people in my 20s where the dates were just drinks, coffees, etc. Just no investment. And that was because predominantly the majority of my dating life has come from people I've met on dating apps. I haven't really had a massive social circle where I have developed relationships through people that I've met through casual acquaintances or friends. That is how we've met. It's online, not knowing each other, going in blind, trying to create rapport. So I would accept the drinks, and then what would happen? I would have zero chemistry with someone. This is half the reason I created a personal brand. I created a personal brand so I would not have to go on dating apps anymore. I created a personal brand so people could see my personality, they can see how I am, they can see what my opinions are. All the cards are on the table. There is no stone unturned. People can get a gist of how I am through my content, and I thank God every day that I have a personal brand now and I do not have to go on dating apps. That is the one thing I'm just so grateful for, because I know it's only a matter of time before I meet someone through doing what I'm doing. Whereas before I was in such a lack mindset where I would accept the drinks and the coffee, etc. from people that were not invested in me. I was just one of a number. If a man just literally says, do you want to go for a drink? He's not invested in you. He doesn't care. And I think it's really important to state that if a man actually likes you, he will spend money on you. And again, that will get twisted. That will get twisted as all women are gold diggers. But if you set the standard of a dinner date, what do? So if we use an example, if we pick two women, one woman has agreed to drinks for a man, one woman has text back to the man, no, I'm sorry, I only go out for dinner as a first date. which of the women is the man going to be more interested in? He's going to be more interested in the one with standards that has said, no, I want to go out to dinner. Because that's just basic psychology of we want what we can't have. And that woman making herself so available to a man and saying, yeah, I'll go for a drink, the man won't want her. Whereas the woman that said, yeah, I only do dinners. She's already set herself out as a high value woman who has standards, who doesn't entertain with people that just want drinks or walking around the park, etc. She's communicating her standards. If you set the bar of I only do dinners on a first date, first one, you will get less dates. Which people will say, well, that's a bad idea, I'm getting less dates. But no, you're cutting out the people that aren't interested in you. You're cutting out the men that just want sex. You're cutting out the men that aren't interested in you. Because if men are interested in you, they are fine with spending money on you because they see it as an investment. Men do not spend money on women that they do not see there being a long-term future or investment. If he doesn't want to take you out to dinner, it's a bad sign. And also, you're probably dating people that don't have enough money. And there is a lot online that says, you know, hashtag no brokey, don't date brokies. Part of it's true. Men can't get upset by the fact that women want men with money. Women want men with money that can treat them well and offer them a lifestyle. That means they don't have to work. They don't have to scrimp and scrape. And I'm sorry, that's just life. You can't be upset about that. In the same way, I can't be upset that men pick with their dick. It's just a fact of life. It's how it is. And I can't be upset with it. You just have to accept that women want men with resources. Because when I have children, I'm not going to be able to work. I can't be filming. I can't be doing my corporate job because I'll be pregnant. And then I'll be looking after the baby. Then I'll be breastfeeding. I don't think I'll want to be on camera while I'm breastfeeding. I need a husband that can support me while I have a child. So this is why you need to set your standards early on. And if the man doesn't want to take you out for dinner on the first date, then there's nowhere else to go. It's just literally going to go downhill from then on because you haven't set your standard and you haven't qualified the men at the start saying, my standard is dinners only. And if you do dinners only and say you don't have a brand, because most people watching my channel won't have a brand, then you're going to get less dates. You might get maybe 2 or 3 dates a year, etc. It depends how much you're actively dating. And obviously there's so many factors in dating where it's easier for some women to get partners than others. But those men will be invested. A man that has spent money on you will be more invested in you and they'll be more likely to develop things and see how things go. And people will say, oh, well, I want someone to like me for me. I want someone to like me without my money. That's why I just do the cheap dates. If you do cheap dates, you get cheap women. And that's just sadly how it is. If you don't want to take a woman out to dinner, then you're going to get the women that Netflix and chills. You're going to get the women with low self-esteem. And that's not me judging women. I've been there myself personally, and I don't judge anyone. I treat people fairly, and I see that it's taken work to get where I am. Even maybe 2 years ago, 3 years into my channel, I would not have been confident enough to say dinner dates only. I wasn't at that place of self-esteem where I could say, I do dinner dates only. I was still in that place of thinking, I'm not good enough, I don't look good enough. It takes work to get to a place where you can say dinner dates only. It's not something that happens overnight. It's something that will develop in time. And it's only now, like I say, 5 years into my brand where I can be, yeah, dinner dates only. Yeah, I can approach who I like. I can approach who I fancy. Because I want to be more in that reactive energy. I want to be in that energy where I'm actively creating my life rather than just sitting in my feminine energy and expecting people to fall at my lap. Because men don't. It's difficult for me to say because my whole life I've only been around British men and British men are reserved. They don't approach. It's just culturally a thing. They just don't approach. And I feel I've had to take the burden of approaching people my whole life. And I think that's probably why my self-esteem did falter. It's because I always had to take on the burden of approaching people. It's always me. If I like someone, it's always me that has to send the message. It's never the other way around of people messaging me. I don't know, maybe like I said before, I don't have enough of a status for people to message me. The thing is with YouTube is a pretty transactional game where you trade with people on your own level. So someone with 1 million subscribers is not going to help me out because I can't give them any subscribers. I only have 1,000 subscribers to give someone else. So they're not going to help me out. They're not just going to give me a leg up and help me out. And I always feel like I had to take on the burden of approaching people. And it's because the people around me aren't offering me anything I want. There's this phrase that I heard recently of rise in love. I want to rise in love and not fall in love. Part of the reason I'm just so guarded is because I'm just so scared of meeting someone in my hometown, falling in love, and then I'm just stuck here because they want to move, they'll have a job, and I'll have to choose between a man and my dreams. And I think that's why part of me is just so sheltered off and just doesn't date, because I don't want to fall in love with someone in my hometown and never move and just be like, oh, well, I could have been a YouTuber, but I fell in love with a man in my hometown and we're now having a baby. And then I don't get to be a YouTuber because I never made it to America. I never took the option of going to America. So that's why 2025, it's dinner dates only.